How are you, James?
Fine. And Murray, how was your day?
Just fine. I've been thinking about the pre-Obamacare time in America.
What about it?
How people could not get medical because they could not afford it or had a pre-existing condition.
Yes, that was not a good thing.
Well, James, I'm going to ask you a question and I don't want you to laugh.
I promise.
How many cows do you know that can afford medical care?
None that I know of.
And how many had pre-existing conditions?
That I do not know.
But how is that all cows have medical coverage?
Well, I guess a vet is looking after all of them. But they make money off of cows by milking them.
But this country milks the bottom 50% out of their income and still 50 million were not covered.
So what are you saying, that if you're poor in America you are better off as a cow?
Don't you think that it is a bit inconsistent to start wars with foreign terrorists, because 3,000 people died in the Twin Towers on 9/11 and yet between 350 to 500,000 citizens have died since then because they had no medical coverage, and yet the same politicians supporting the wars are so opposed to universal coverage?
Why do you think that is?
To tell you the truth, I think a lot of people who can't be satisfied with the wealth they have find that they can get a kick out of seeing others humiliated. Our frenzy for competition in this country is eating us alive. They see a waiter leaving his 20-hour-per-week job, riding his bicycle, and the waiter has a smile on his face, and the high-income individual says to himself, "God will not permit this to happen. I am smarter than the waiter, have more education, more wealth, and yet I've had a hard day," and he is smiling riding his bicycle, so he says this is against all that is good. But then he says to himself, well, that guy probably lives in there shack, has no car, no medical coverage, so that kind of makes us even. And finally he says to himself, I sure hope that Obamacare doesn't pass, because the bum of a waiter will be happier and that will make me unhappy. Obamacare must be stopped. It might make the poor smile more. That's not fair, he says. I'd better call my congressman about these bums in the bottom 50%.
You know the old saying of my grandfather.
Yes I do, James, that politics is a manure pile and the more you stir it the more it stinks.